Hi, thanks for tuning in again. I just wanted to talk about expressing the truth, your truth, and how not expressing the full truth in your life can affect your body in significant ways, and it can be different for everyone. There tends to be common features, let's say, amongst people who tend to hold back their words, their emotions, and sometimes it manifests physically in different ways. A lot of the time it does get centered around the throat chakra and all the glands associated with it, like the thyroid, the skin, the lymph nodes, tonsils. So some examples of when people spend most of their lives not fully speaking up. Some examples of imbalances in the body come up as thyroid issues and swollen tonsils. So they're inflamed, you get infections pretty quickly and it goes straight to the tonsils. Mouth issues, like could be canker sores, gum issues, like bleeding, swollen lymph nodes around the neck, as well as could be a skin eruption, and basically anything else associated with this area. Oh, jaw tension, that's a big one, big one, when you have like TMJ, they call it, right? So I witness this all the time, and I do see it within myself as well. So there's different ways of not expressing your truth. So it could be that you just plain and simple are not speaking, you're just holding back. And it could be that you're holding in sadness, anger, maybe even joy. Maybe you're not expressing the joy that you want to express. You might be holding resentment, and you're just not speaking it at all. Then there's an expression that could be just like, this is you, and then the way you express things is over here. So let's say you actually feel very loving, but there's an anger inside you that comes out and overpowers the love that's there. And you come out in a more rageful way, in a more malicious way, or you say things that are not in line with who you are. And in a way, it's not necessarily lying, it's just you are misaligned with who you are, so you express things that the words don't come out right, the tone isn't exactly you, and that can also lead to a lot of throat chakra, this energy center, a lot of imbalance there. So I guess I was inspired today because in another video I did talk about the eczema on the back of my neck. That's the only spot that I have it. And just in this last week, now this is not the first time, I have an extremely swollen lymph node, and I think it's a lymph node. It hurts. I'm not sick. It just kind of exploded, like all of a sudden, like boom, it's there. And it doesn't feel good. It feels angry. And I'm loading it up with essential oils, frankincense, tea tree, whatever I can think of that might help. But I know that when I first meditated on it, a lot of black toxins in my imagination, as I was trying to release what was there, it was like black. And the way I feel it within me is that if you have a visualization like that, or if I have a visualization like that on myself or a client, it's showing that there's a lot of toxic feelings, emotions, thoughts that are being kind of suppressed into the body. And then if it's not being released, or if it was released in a sudden way, the body just sort of like reacts. It's like, whoa, that's a lot coming out there. Boom, here's a bump that expresses that. In my case, I would say it was more connected to having held back and been in a lot of stress, like feeling a lot of anger and internal stress, and not being able to fully express it. There goes my throat. Yeah. And then because I was not feeling respected or heard, suddenly my anger just sort of was released through an email. And then in the same day, I noticed this huge bump on my neck because it was like a detox. All of a sudden it just came out, but it was like held back, like for weeks, like this suppression of kind of fear, anxiety, anger, just all being held back. And then it got released, and then my neck exploded. That's how I interpret it. And that's what it intuitively felt like. And like I said, after that, a lot of black stuff was coming out. So it was just like kind of accumulated, right? And it's on the right side. So that's another thing to think about. It could be connected to the male energy as well. So if you are one of these people that holds back, there's a good chance you also have some issues with the throat in some way, or one way or another. And if you're not quite sure how to heal this, there may be ways to learn how to express yourself, like in a conscious way. And there are usually fears and beliefs that are associated with not fully expressing. Like from childhood, some people are told basically to shut up their whole life. And so they're not actually given the permission to fully be themselves. And so people will grow up kind of with the subconscious belief that I have to stay quiet. If not, I'm a bad person. If I speak up, then I'm not going to be liked, or I'll be judged. It's almost like, wow, like all the beliefs that we hold on to that don't serve us. And I mean, it takes some awareness to start the healing. And so if you feel like you're one of these people, just think about it. Are there times in your life when you tried to be yourself, like as a kid, and you were told, no, you're not allowed to do that, like be quiet, that you're being too loud, or you're disruptive. And then you may have kind of shut down and just decided, oh, I guess I'm just not going to talk too much. The other part might be you were being ignored and not heard. And that's the other part of the throat chakra, is like not being heard. And so then it may cause you later in life to seek more attention. And it might be that you might express things in a more kind of like immature way, or more angry, or more fear-based. And so it's not your truth. It's just this belief that, oh, well, to be heard, I have to talk this way so that my parents hear me, right? But you carried that on to like every other person you interact with in your life. So whiny baby, angry person, listen to me, right? Yeah. These are just a few examples. So I guess I'm just expressing this to bring the awareness to you, and it can be healed as long as you're willing to go to the root of it, which is usually deep beliefs from childhood. And I just basically would, I would work with you, or you can start working on it by meditating on the beliefs that you're holding. And if you're completely unaware, then yes, it might take some kind of like healing, energy work, hypnotherapy, spiritual therapy. It could even be actually from past lives, to be honest. That's another one I forgot to mention. So for example, you may have been penalized in a past life for speaking up. Maybe you got your head chopped off, or maybe something into your throat. So that's another one, and healing can be done on past lives. Through hypnotherapy, you would go there as well and visualize it and see it, and then bring the lessons forward so you don't have to carry it anymore. The things we do to ourselves as humans, it's great. But this is how we learn. Okay. So I'm going to be continuing to work on this thing because it's talking to me, and it feels like it's the same size. I can't tell, but I am talking to it. And one thing I notice is like I have to give it love. It needs love. Another thing you can do is give this part of your body a lot of love if it's not fully in tune and not fully healthy, is sending this part of your body a lot of love. Okay, so thanks for tuning in again. See you soon.